there's some Erica Kane in Dani, but I liked, unlike Erica, who had daddy issues, I like that they set it up where she had this really sweet relationship with her father. First of all, happy birthday to me, and happy birthday to Beyond the Gates. What a great birthday present than a American soap opera debut for the first time in over 2 decades, 2.5 decades since Passions. I've been looking forward to this so much. I need another soap opera in my life because as a Pisces, it's a good escape, and with the current world, it's much needed. Yes, Beyond the Gates finally debuted. CBS has been doing a great job of promoting this. Procter and Gamble seem to really care. There's a lot of care behind this. CBS owns the soap opera, which I think is a good sign. They're going to want it to succeed and want it to stick around since they own it with P&G. I couldn't be more excited. And I thought the first episode gave me what I needed from it. There was a lot of having to explain who the characters are and how they're connected or related. And that's going to happen in the first episode. As someone who edits competition reality web series on this channel, the first episode is always so hard. I hate introduction episodes because you got to introduce all the new cast and you got to let people learn who they are. It's very difficult. It takes me months just to do the first episode, which is why it takes me so long to air those shows on this channel. This first episode had to explain the family, but by the end, I thought they did a pretty good job. And that's the two things I think the premiere did really well. They set up the Dupree family and all the other relations, the children, the grandchildren, the connections to the cheating storyline, which is the central storyline in episode 1. Dani was married to Bill, who cheated on Dani with her daughter's best friend, Hayley. Naomi is that daughter. We'll get to Naomi here in a while. The central storyline, though, with Dani, I thought was good. Dani is a Spitfire character, but I liked that she wasn't introduced first. I liked that they introduced her sister, Nicole, with their mother, Anita, first. We even got some real music to start the episode. Best of My Love playing in the background. That's going to be neat because P&G is going to be able to put some real background music into the show going forward. That's like a throwback to the 70s and 80s soap operas. And also, before I get back to the storylines, it looked great. There is money behind this project. The sets are looking great. It's just great to see an American soap opera actually look good, and all these, CBS is putting all this care behind it. I never thought we'd see the day, which is why I'm so excited. None of us thought we'd see a new American soap opera, so I'm really hoping that it thrives. And I think with a character like Dani, it can thrive. She was giving me there's some Erica Kane in Dani. I feel like, she's not shy about going against her mother or her sister, but I liked, unlike Erica, who had daddy issues, I like that they set it up where she had this really sweet relationship with her father. Vernon is his name. Vernon Dupree. I thought the chat that Vernon had with Dani almost changed her mood because the entire episode was Dani freaking out about the fact that her now ex-husband is going to be marrying Hayley, who she took into her home because she was her daughter's friend. She had a confrontation with Hayley at the beginning of the episode because of where they're getting married. And Anita and Nicole could not get through to Dani. But then Vernon had a chat with her and, convincing her to say, that she's the best and that she's the smartest. And it was like, positive reinforcement from her father. So I like that they set up the dynamic between all of them very well. Obviously, Nicole and Anita seem close. And Dani, a spitfire with her mother and sister, but with Vernon, she was able to kind of let those feelings off of her back of wanting revenge, of course, until the end of the episode when she learns from the realtor agent, Vanessa, that Bill and Hayley, after they marry, plan on moving into the neighborhood. They're going to be moving into Fairmont Crest. Vanessa tried to warn Hayley that was probably a bad idea because she's going to be the social outcast in the neighborhood by not only marrying Bill, but moving in next to the Dupree family. Bill is clearly being set up as the central villain. He has some shadiness going on with him. He had a client come in and he was able to make a phone call and help that client's son's problems disappear. He did it for free and then told the man that he would owe him in the future. So we'll see what that brings. So Bill's being set up as the central villain, and then Hayley's being set up as like a real shitty piece of work. And I'm really looking forward to the day that Bill likely cheats on Hayley, because it was also set up by Dani that Bill's always had affairs, but before he did it away from home, and Dani was able to get over that. But with the affair with Hayley, it was in the home, and that was not something she could get away from. So it seems like she used to let Bill cheat because they married when she was 19. I like all this backstory too. It's a reason why I think the writing will succeed in the first year, is because all these characters are getting care. They're setting up backstories, which is going to be able to have like some character-driven writing, which we just do not see on American soap operas anymore. New characters introduced on American soap operas, especially in the last decade, but even in like the last 2 decades, I would go so far as to say, they don't have strong backstories, and thus a lot of new characters don't work for the audience. When you're introducing a whole new show, which hasn't been done in so long, that's why I feel like this episode had a lot of setup of who is who. They just had to do that. Not only because there's a lot of characters, and in soap operas, you got to learn all the relations, but also because they have these strong backstories that they got to flesh out for us to see. But because they're already giving us information, like of Dani, why she is the way she is now, why her and Bill's marriage was the way it was. Bill likes him young. I'm not so sure how old Hayley is supposed to be, or Naomi. I'm assuming like early to mid-20s. But yeah, I like the dynamics already they're setting up between Bill, Hayley, and Dani, even though we haven't seen Bill and Dani in a scene, although we've seen some stuff by previews. If you've seen any previews, they did a good thing last week setting up the show with a 5-episode preview, which was cool too, which once again gives me confidence that CBS is putting so much care behind this. In the end, Dani confronted Hayley again, slapped her. We had the Grand Dame of Potomac, which I'm watching with Q. Karen has grown on me over the seasons that I've watched so far. I didn't like her in season 1. But Karen got the last line of the show, which was "Welcome to Fairmont Crest" to Hayley after she got slapped, and then the whole Dupree family kind of just walked away looking at her in disgust, and Hayley now finding herself the social outcast. There was some other characters we got some little introductions for. My favorite of the other characters was Naomi and Jacob. She was late meeting the family because her and Jacob were having sex in their apartment. We saw some kinkiness to them. She got him some handcuffs with pink fuzzy handcuffs. Naomi was one of my favorite characters in the first episode because I thought the acting was strong from her. I don't know the actress's name yet. Hopefully I'll learn it over time. But I think because of the acting, I really enjoyed Naomi. But also, Naomi and Jacob, I thought had chemistry, which is important. They're one of... Well, we saw a few different couples. I mean, if you count Anita and Vernon, and then the white couple we'll get to. Naomi and Jacob had chemistry, and I love a couple with chemistry. So, good start for Naomi and Jacob as a couple. I'm sure they'll have problems sooner rather than later. But yeah, Jacob's a cop, and Naomi, I'm not sure what she was. I don't know if they alluded to her working at the hospital, but I guess I'll find out over time. Some of the other characters, I mentioned the white couple. Yeah, they're kind of the token white characters, which is funny to say because for so long on these American soaps, we had so many token black characters that just don't get the time and the effort. And we still see that today on General Hospital. I feel like they still see all their black characters as tokens that they don't flesh out because they don't feel like they have to, even if they get popular. But yeah, these two characters, don't remember their names. It was Derek, I believe, and then Nurse Ashley Morgan. Ashley's going to be a nurse at the hospital. They were celebrating. I thought they were boring. They're either not going to last 6 months into the show because they're boring, but hopefully they get some mess thrown at them or something because they've not only were boring, but they just felt out of place in the first episode because everything else is about the Dupree family, and then it's just these two. Maybe this was just to placate CBS or something. That's what it felt like because they didn't fit into this first episode. But we did learn that Ashley is friends with Naomi, so that will be the tie between Ashley and Naomi. Later on, we met Andre, who's a congressman. He was meeting with Vernon, so he's like the grandson of Vernon and Anita. Not sure who he's related to. They had an interaction with a constituent, so maybe we will get some political storylines, but hopefully not. Andre later hit on Ashley at the hospital, I felt like, but I'm under the assumption that Andre might be gay, judging by some of the previews I remember seeing, if that's who that was. So at first I thought they were testing that maybe Andre's going to be an interloper between Ashley and Derek, which would maybe make Derek and Ashley more interesting. But if Andre's gay, that might not be happening. The younger set, we met Kat and Chelsea. They're launching some sort of fashion line. I believe Chelsea is Dani's daughter and Kat is Nicole's daughter, so they're cousins. Kat was questioning Chelsea if she hates her father Bill for what Bill did. Chelsea says she has a hard time hating her father, but she hates what he did. That's when Naomi finally arrived on the scene after Chelsea was saying she doesn't know how to hate her father, but Naomi said she could help Chelsea with that. So setting up the fact that Naomi's going to have hard feelings for her father. Because, of course, Naomi and Hayley were supposed to be best friends. So that's another dynamic that I like that's set up with the whole Hayley and Bill having an affair. It's a juicy cheating story to have to start off your show because you're having the older villain having an affair with your daughter's friend. It's juicy. It's soapy. I like it. I liked everything overall. You know, the white couple's going to need some work. And obviously these characters still got to get fleshed out. And I still got to get to learn them more. But they set up the Dupree family good overall. We got to see all of them meet up and have the family dynamic. And then after Dani slaps Hayley, they all walk away one by one, giving Hayley dirty looks. Naomi being last because they were the friends. Nice touch. And the more I talk about this, the more I really enjoy the character of Naomi. I think that is the character I am looking forward to most right now. Obviously, we love Anita for the soap opera history, but and Dani's obviously going to be entertaining because she's the Spitfire. But Naomi has the chemistry with her boyfriend Jacob, I believe is his name. She has the dynamic with her father. Looking forward to it. I really also hope, I said this long ago when I made some videos on Beyond the Gates. I'm looking forward to the younger set. So I really hope they give Chelsea and Kat some modern, younger character storylines. That is something I want from the show. But right now, I think as the week goes on, I think it's actually going to get better and better. Because as a soap opera, I think you got to take the entire week as the debut. The first episode is going to be set up. I think tomorrow we'll probably be introduced to some more characters and then also further set up from people we saw today. I think by the end of the week, though, it will all start to come together. We'll know all the dynamics. Hopefully some other central A and B stories are set up besides the affair. Yeah, I'm so excited for a new American soap opera that the time and effort is getting put into. I don't know if I'm going to be able to update every day this week, but I'm going to try my best. For certain, either tomorrow or Wednesday, I'll be back to talk about tomorrow and Wednesday, if not both.